What's up? Just Ehren here, question period Canada. Is the Liberal NDP coalition government breaking down? If you watch these clips, you're going to think so. They don't seem very happy with the Liberals, they're never happy with the Conservatives, but they especially don't seem happy with Trudeau and the direction he's taking the country, which is downhill for the last number of years. Why did the NDP party? Why do they keep backing the Liberals? I don't know. Maybe we're going to find out. It does look, by watching these clips, like the coalition government is breaking down. Let's take a closer look.
When I'm Prime Minister,
this is kind of funny, like it's from a ways back, but it's when they started falling apart. He's going to be Prime Minister, right? Imagine. He tries again. We'll get into the other NDP MPs. There's a lot of them. Well, there's not that many, but we've got a lot of them covered. This is Anthony Rota. He used to be Speaker. He had to resign because of the Nazi scandal. He took the fall for the Liberals.
Just calm down, everybody take a deep breath.
He was a funny little guy.
Burnaby South.
He's still an MP.
Absolutely. For the folks over here, when I'm Prime Minister,
Imagine.
I will keep my promises.
Sure. Unicorns and free heat pumps and JAGMEET, Prime Minister.
That this Prime Minister made that would certainly help the crisis in our healthcare system. He promised a guaranteed.
I'm sorry.
Now we know that there's some people in this
He tries
chamber that
again,
like
though.
the number 3. So when I'm Prime Minister, I will keep my promise.
We'll never know, will we?
There's another promise the Prime Minister made that would certainly help in this healthcare crisis. He promised a guaranteed wage of at least $25 an hour for long-term care workers. Now, this would help free up spaces in the hospital so seniors can go into a long-term care home and get the proper respect and treatment that they need. Yes. Now, did the Prime Minister mean what he said, or was he hoping that a fight with the provinces would mean that he didn't have to deliver on this promise either?
Yeah.
Full Prime Minister.
It's not that the NDP has bad ideas. They just
there is
back
no
up the
housing
Liberals.
crisis in Toronto. The
It's
rest of the
frustrating.
Liberal MPs for Toronto would rather fight the city of Toronto than actually deal with the crisis of housing. Here's what frontline workers are saying. Quote, on the ground, we've seen a man recently arrived from Africa die in an encampment while trying to stay warm. So will the Prime Minister listen to his out-of-touch Liberal MPs or to frontline workers trying to save people's lives?
Mr. Speaker, Manulife just cut a deal with Galen Weston that forces Canadians to fill their prescriptions at Loblaws.
He's always wound up.
This robs patients of their choice of pharmacist and hurts local community pharmacies.
This doesn't sound good, though.
This will restrict Canadians' access to over 250 medications. This is not only anti-competitive, but once again shows Liberals putting corporate greed ahead of people's health, while the Conservatives say nothing. Will this government protect patients and block this corporate collusion as Quebec has done?
Good on Quebec.
Rent is due today, and for workers in Port Moody, Coquitlam,
Bonita,
that rent will cost over 50% of their monthly paycheck. And for the seniors facing rent eviction due to corporate investors buying up their affordable homes, they are facing homelessness. These out-of-touch Liberals created this mess alongside the cut and gut Conservatives who work for greedy corporations. Why are the Liberals dragging their feet when Canadians desperately need affordable rental homes now?
This is all true.
Thank you very much, Mr.
The NDP
Speaker,
says a lot of
for that response, but it's just
their
not
questions
good
are sharp,
enough,
but
because
they don't
today,
do anything.
Rent is due, and a new report just came out telling Edmontonians what we already know. Rent is going up, and the number of available affordable homes is going down. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister turns a blind eye while Danielle Smith sells off affordable housing just to make her rich CEO friends happy. When will this government stop catering to rich CEOs and put forward a plan to build non-market and co-op housing so that working people can afford a home?
Their questions are relevant. It's just they don't
this government says
They keep backing the Liberals. It's frustrating, right?
But the closure of Clinic 554 means that Fredericton is without a single provider for a safe, trauma-informed abortion care. Despite the Prime Minister campaigning on keeping this clinic open, he has failed to protect the charter right to abortion. And Conservatives, they are actively threatening this right through backdoor legislation. Abortion rights are human rights. Will the minister enforce the Canada Health Act and protect abortion rights in New Brunswick?
Northern Manitoba is seeing temperatures above zero.
She has such a
We've
gravelly
had weather
voice.
that's unheard of these last 2 months. Thousands of people in our region depend on ice roads to survive. Because of the warm weather, some roads haven't opened and others will not last the season. The Liberals have failed to act quickly to combat the climate emergency that is hitting Indigenous communities the hardest.
I don't know if it's a climate emergency as much as the weather changes.
Like an airport for Wasagamak, all-weather roads for St. Teresa Point, Oxford House, and York Landing. When will the Liberals finally act to deliver these life-saving investments?
Climate change or the weather
Madam
changes.
Speaker, Canadians can't keep up with their home heating costs. Switching to a
Hippy-dippy.
heat pump makes life more
Sleeveless in
affordable
Parliament.
while tackling the climate crisis. But the current Liberal program is
That's a
riddled with
look.
problems and almost impossible for rural and lower-income Canadians to access. The Liberals have threatened to cancel this program and are leaving people out in the cold with higher home heating bills and no option to switch. This makes no sense. Why won't the Liberals make Big Oil pay what they owe and use the funds to fix the heat pump program?
That's a good idea. The NDP has good ideas. They just keep backing the Liberals, which is a bad idea.
High grocery prices. While big grocery CEOs rack in record profits, seniors are making difficult decisions in the grocery store. It doesn't stop there. Loblaws even tried to cut discounts on nearly expired food. Corporate greed has no limit. And while the Liberals continue to let it happen, the Conservative opposition wants to let those big companies get even more of a payout. Why are the Liberals allowing CEOs to gouge Canadians?
From London, Fanshawe.
Today I joined the hundreds of workers on strike at the Canadian Forces Morale and Welfare Services. Their key demands: fair wages, better job security, and respect. But this Liberal government refuses to even sit down to negotiate a fair deal. These are workers who support our military with critical wellness services. When they wrote to local Liberal MPs asking for support, they were told the minister didn't know these 4,000 workers were his responsibility. Wow. Will the Minister of National Defence finally accept his obligation to these workers and get back to the bargaining table?
Sure,
to the table
for Timmins James Bay.
Another winter, another
Charlie
tragic
Angus.
fire
It's
in Treaty 9. Children at the Bummatung First Nation have no school because it burned in a fire and they had no fire service. Last winter, Peawanuck lost a beautiful 10-year-old child to a fire, and this government's response was, well, we'll buy you a truck, but we're not going to pay for the fire hall. How do you do fire safety at minus 45 without a fire hall? Will the minister stop nickel and diming the people at Treaty 9 and commit for all the communities properly funded fire halls, vehicles, and a new school for the children of Bummatung, because every child deserves safety and a comfy school?
The Honourable Minister Burnaby.
Hate led to the murder of 6 worshippers at the Quebec City Mosque 7 years ago today. They were killed in cold blood.
I don't know about Peter
because they were
Julian.
Muslim.
Like, I have trouble
The
trusting this
perpetrator
guy
of
for some reason.
Islamophobic terrorism was influenced by the hate that continues to multiply online. This Prime Minister promised to take action to combat online hate within his first 100 days in office. Years have passed and there is still no action. When are the Liberals finally going to crack down on online hate? When will they take action?
It does sound like the coalition is breaking down. They don't sound very happy with the Liberal Party in general, do they?
That the ICJ ruled that there is a risk
Heather
of
McKinnon,
genocide in Gaza,
pardon me,
the
Heather
Liberals
McPherson is going to
paused
flip,
funding to
probably.
UNRWA, which is a lifeline
She
for
always
millions
does.
of innocent Palestinians. People will lose their lives. And unbelievably, the Conservative leader has accused 30,000 UNRWA humanitarian workers of being terrorists. He does not deserve to lead. We support
They don't sound
an
happy about the
investigation into
coalition.
12 former staff, but defunding UNRWA is collective punishment and it is illegal. When will the Liberals stop abandoning Palestinians?
Never said anything about the Conservatives, just the
housing
Liberals.
crisis
Like, pay
is
attention to
escalating
that.
across the country. In Halifax, homelessness is on the rise.
Jenny
As
Kwan's
winter
always
approaches,
wound up, too.
urgent calls to repurpose empty buildings for affordable homes are mounting. Yet the Liberals are so out of touch with reality that they're delaying much-needed resources to get homes built till 2025. And under the corporate-controlled Conservatives, 800,000 affordable low-cost
taking
rental
shots at the
apartments
Conservatives,
were
but
lost to
still
housing
unhappy with the
profiteers
Liberals.
to
Like,
turn a
hopefully
bigger
the coalition
profit.
does break
As the
down
winter
before,
turns,
like, an election
snow and
has to be
freezing rain
called.
means people will die of exposure.
Sooner the better.
Will the Liberals roll out the housing funds now to save lives?
In Malahat Langford.
You know, I almost feel a little bit sorry for the minister. He made such a big deal out of his meeting with the grocery CEOs.
Groceries
and
are
now
out of
Metro
hand,
has
right?
admitted that it
Come
had
on.
zero impact on food prices. And Mr. Speaker, any Canadian who's been watching food prices soar could have told the Liberal government that. Instead of standing up to CEOs, the minister has danced around price gouging for 2 years. The Liberal plan isn't working. With the holidays coming, prices are only going to get worse. So will the government support the NDP's bill to lower food prices and end the gouging?
So I guess probably for that bill, they're looking for support from the Conservatives, so he's not saying anything about the Conservatives on that one. Is that what happened?
And Liberals. Thanks to the NDP, a for Indigenous by Indigenous housing strategy will now help First Nations, Métis, and Inuit to find adequate homes away from their home communities. But there is still work to do.
It's a little hard to tell what emotion
like
she's
Nunavut
expressing.
on this government to deliver funding for homes for their residents.
Just peeved, I guess.
Why are the Liberals always delaying critical funding for housing in the territories?
The honourable member from Hamilton Centre.
When it comes to the over 25,000 Palestinians killed by Netanyahu's brutal bombardment, the Liberals have done nothing to uphold international law and protect innocent civilian lives. And when it comes to Islamophobia and anti-Palestinian hate crimes, the Liberals have failed to stop it here in Canada. The community feels so betrayed that yesterday, the National Council of Canadian Muslims canceled their meeting with the Prime Minister because they are tired of his broken lies. So, what will it take?
Well, oh my goodness. What are you going to do about that, Mr. Speaker? Well.
The honourable member is an experienced parliamentarian.
See how it goes.
He knows very well that we cannot accuse honourable members of deliberately lying. That is a unparliamentary language. I'll ask the honourable member to withdraw that comment.
Mr. Speaker, I withdraw because
he cowers.
they are tired of the broken promises.
How would a man do it?
So, what will it take for this Liberal government to listen and start protecting Palestinian lives in Gaza?
He shouldn't have backed down there. It's not a good look.
Islamophobia and anti-Palestinian hate here in Canada.
We're going to take a look at how somebody calls the Prime Minister a liar and doesn't back down.
I know for a fact that farmers are asking that minister to axe the carbon tax. That PM promised that the Senate would be independent, but the actions this past week prove that that is a complete farce. We know he bullied his senators. The PM himself was on the phone over the weekend telling them they had to gut Bill C-234.
This is all true.
The Prime Minister lied, and his minions continue to lie about
Whoa. That was a pretty fun moment. That happened just before Christmas. Pretty wild. Damien Kirk, a cowboy from Alberta. It wound up the house, for sure.
The honourable member who got here at the same time I did knows full well that you can't use that word. I would say the honourable member should retract that and apologize. The honourable member, Battle River Crowfoot.
Mr. Speaker, I will not apologize for that, Prime Minister.
It was a fun time. That one was, yeah.
I'm asking the honourable member to apologize for the second time and retract that word. The honourable member knows full well you cannot use that word in this chamber.
Now, Damien Kirk's being given a second chance to apologize. I
did
Do you
a
think
video
he
on
will?
it then. So this is the last opportunity. The honourable member of Battle River Crowfoot, will you be retracting that?
It's the truth. It's the truth.
Mr.
I will not apologize to the Prime Minister, Mr. Speaker.
Nope.
Mr. Curran,
And Matt Green should have done that.
would you mind
Should
leaving
not
us
have
today?
backed down. But that's the problem with the NDP party. They have no backbone to stand up to the Liberals and give Canadians what they want, which is an election. So what do you think? Is the NDP party just dead now? Like, is JAGMEET not worth anything? Is he just in it for his pension? Are there any of the NDP MPs that you think could contribute? Maybe in a different party? Who knows? The NDP doesn't seem to me like, after this coalition government, I don't think they'll recover. Maybe they will. Who knows? The ideas behind their party do make sense to me, but they're not coming through on, they're not standing up for Canadians, and that's what they're supposed to do. Like and subscribe. We're making videos all the time. It's a lot of fun here. We're growing a community. It's great. So check us out. We make lots of different videos. We're live every day covering question period. That's it. We're going to get going. Thank you very much for watching. We'll check you next video.